Alrighty, looks like we're live. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. So this is take two. I don't know how much room is still left on here, so I gotta be succinct. So I'm trying to get my companion, my sweetie Allison, home with me. Thank God this is a part two. So I need to talk about. I got Cash App. I have PayPal. I have Venmo. Venmo doesn't work. I can't get into it. PayPal is at VERTARBUSTO, and Cash App is at capital VERT space ARBUSTO. And of course, I'm going to leave links. So I need to talk about that this is not just for me. This is, you got to remember, this is for her, more for her than for me. I'm the heartbreaker. Okay. I am fine with living by myself up to a point, but the problem with that is the universe won't let a person. And you're still given opportunity after opportunity. And I I love this woman. I've come to really adore her, and I can't stand the thought of her being by herself. She's all alone. Her grandmother left, and it really would be heartbreaking, honestly, to me, if she was there by herself. So I I have a lot more to talk about personality. I have a lot more to talk about uh relationships and all of that. But what good is it if you're the most intelligent person in the room and there's no one to talk to, right? What good is it if you do all kinds of great things for humanity and yet you have no one to come home and share it with, right? And so that's where I'm with. She doesn't have any family. Her parents have passed on, um, and over the last 4 years, 4+ years, we've grown into a partners. And one of the things that is important to understand when the difference between, to me, this is one, only one, and this isn't like the catch all to be all, but one of the differences between a twin flame and a soulmate is that the twin flame wants to be a partner, wants to grow together as a team, rather than, I believe, the soulmate who says, "You complete me," right? Now, Allison has come to this with the view that she wants to start a business with me and we're going to be partners. She doesn't really know anything about business, and we're not talking about like finance business, but a jewelry making beads, right? And you can make protective bead amulets, right? Like, oh yeah, this fits in, right? This fits into what I'm doing. Protect, like, all right. So what she's doing is something that can work into what I'm doing quite nicely. Like, it's not contradicting or contradistinct what I'm doing. Whereas a lot of times with the soulmate connection, you have voids that each other fill for the other one, right? That you can't do it, like, oh man, I don't know how to say this. You can't do it yourself. You need the other person to complete you, right? And that's something that's heard often is, "You complete me," okay? And I think it's important to understand like the difference in phraseology and terminology. All right, 4 minutes. I don't know how much storage space I have, so this thing may click off suddenly, right? So I can't develop a greater theory or thesis, greater narrative. I can't explain like the backstory of the relationship here. I'm gonna have to do some other video, figure out what if here, what of the time I got. But this is one of the things that my guides have told me, that here in, you only get lessons here that you can't get anywhere else. You're here in a physical form. It's the melding of the body, which is temporary, right? With the indomitable, the spirit, which is infinite, right? Like has infinite potential theoretically. Okay. So the two of them, what are you limited by with the body, right? So I'm working to build a relationship with her. I'm working to build my personality, but oh, good God, I'm going to have to read when I get back my computer back and I have a video on that and I can read through the text. I'll read through you some of the texts that she sends me. Like, it would be heartbreaking for her to be by herself, right? Honestly, and I know there's enough of you out there that you can make a difference, like, it doesn't have to be a lot per person, but like, oh my God, like it when you folks have reached out to me and you've helped me in the past, it's been so meaningful. And I never ask for money. I'm not doing this for money, but I really should. I do need to. And just between you and I, right, and I've said this, that you're getting a master's level education on the Schumann resonances for free. And I stick with the principles. I am principled in this, and I treat people with respect. And in my posts, I look at it as how would I respond to that coming at me, and like that's how I do a lot of my posts is how would I respond to that coming at me, right? It is that simple. So, um, so I'm working through asking for money because I do deserve it, but she deserves this, right? I I've said before, I'm the heartbreaker. It's okay for me to be alone. Maybe I kind of deserve that. I've said no to a lot more than I've said yes to, and it's not because I'm proud or they're beneath me. There's been a lot of times where there's been hints, or you have to get the vibe that people, honestly, guys who've been here longer than a lot of guys can figure this shit out. I'm trying to do this without drinking. Like, that's been my biggest issue in a lot of relationship stuff, is doing it drinking or drunk. And so now I'm doing this. I'm doing it sober, and there's a big difference, and I'm trying to be healthy about this, and there's a big difference. So part of doing the channel is to put out the donation thing, to give people a chance to be helpful on your end, right? And maybe the stuff I'm doing is way too complicated for people to to grasp, and so you don't give me comments that way. All right, that's fine, whatever, but like a lot of times people will help if you ask them, look, I'm in dire straits, some dire situation, and I really truly need help because it also affects someone else, right? Fire truck, hit it. So that's sort of what I'm talking about here as well. So like I said, PayPal is the number one way to do it. I need, at least 150, 120, 150 bucks, not just for the to figure out the air flight thing, which we've done largely, but the transportation and, to get back here. And then there's some other stuff that we need, obviously, and so if you folks can help me in any way, I would be most grateful. I know that there's people out there among you that have money to donate to a good cause, and that'll be me. I appreciate that. And I in doing, I think what I told her is that we're going to make a blog or some type of a podcast where we can talk to people about this stuff, about, finding the right partner, about finding their partner, finding their mate. And I really believe that if she's happy, we have something to talk to people about, right? So there's a lot that depends on, I have to say this, that her grandma and cousin were going to the airport. They already had a ride figured out. So I was hoping that things would get, in place so that she would have been able to take the taxi ride with them. Well, that didn't happen. And so So I'm asking for transportation. I've asked the universe, please help me. And we had a text volley this morning that was not nice, and I was like, well, you're stuck, right? I said, you have a problem, right? You can't, playing the shitty trump card, kind of, so to speak, my life will go on, I'll be miserable, but you'll be really miserable, won't you? Right? Like, and then at that point, I said, I'm not feeling better saying that. And I said that that's not helping, that's not healthy, a, that's not a good direction, because there just is what it is to it. And so I have expended what I could out of my check. There's nothing left, right? And so I need help, like now, like it's, now I get to send it out to um, the the neighbor to help 1111, so that we can get this done by Monday, right? And I need to get this done as soon as possible. Oh, good God, what a mess. uh, I can't yell at her for, well, this is what happens when you involve third parties or fourth parties. It's like she trusts the neighbor, she knows the neighbor, uh, uh, this is a mess. And I of myself like I've said this, I myself can't do it. I don't know anything. I'm clueless. I don't have a will to want anything here, right? And so one of the things that is necessary in a person's growth or spiritual growth, it doesn't come automatically from Earth's anything, right? You have to make a decision. There has to be a willful, conscious decision there that I am going to grow in this area. And that's part of what this is. I'm not just teaching, I'm not a mentor, I'm not any of that, really, but I'm in this with everyone else. And this is my first serious love that I've had. I've been in love with Lauren, but that was like my first, and that was not going to last, right? I mean, as good as it was, we loved each other, but that just was not going to last, right? This is the person here now, Allison, that I'm supposed to spend my life with. And, like,